Roman Catholics seem so sure that their worship is stunningly true and faithful to God. Despite this, approximately 9 out of every 10 cradle Catholics are leaving the church. Let's take a look. An article from the Church Life Journal, produced by the University of Notre Dame, entitled "Religious Transmission: A Solution to the Church's Biggest Problem." For over 50 years, the General Social Survey has asked a large representative sample of Americans a battery of questions, including questions about religion. These data reveal a major problem, indeed arguably the single biggest problem for the Catholic Church in the United States. In 1973, 84% of all those raised Catholics still identified as Catholic when surveyed as adults. In 2002, it was 74%. By 2022, it had dropped to 62%. More and more of those raised Catholic are leaving. Those figures concern whether a person raised Catholic continues to check the Catholic box on a survey, which is a pretty low bar of measurement. Perhaps a more salient question is how many of those raised Catholics still participate in Mass every Sunday. In 1973, about 34% of all those raised Catholic were attending Mass weekly when surveyed as adults. By 2002, the number had dropped to 20%. By 2022, it had plummeted to 11%. We are losing 9 out of 10 cradle Catholics. The authors of the study suggest several reasons, including blaming the parents, blaming the church, and blaming their discipleship, or basically upbringing in the teachings of the church. However, one thing never occurs to them, and that's, are these cradle Catholics actually experiencing the presence of God? Now, they're so sure that the real presence of Christ exists in the Eucharist, and therefore the presence of God must be in the Mass, that question never even occurs to them. However, I'm going to suggest that these cradle Catholics have never experienced the presence of God, and therefore, instead of it being a relationship and an encounter with God, going to church and expecting to meet infinity and eternity, instead of that, it's just a bunch of hoopla and parading around and religion, no matter how flowing the robes are. I can say this, if you've ever encountered the presence of God before, you're not going to forget it anytime soon.